So, this is story time this morning, only it's a true story. And I laid there underneath the truck. My one leg was pinned on the frame of the truck, which had sheared off into a spear point. And I couldn't move. I was twisted underneath there. And I can remember the battery acid just dripping all over me. I had a little bit of room to maneuver, but not much. I did not know how bad I was hurt. All I knew was I just wanted to go home. I just wanted to lay down on the couch and just fall asleep. Maybe this would be all over with and I'd get up and it would be all better. And I laid there for a few minutes and traffic was starting to stop. And I can remember looking down into the gravel that I was laying on. And I could see my life. I could see my blood going and running down between the gravel. It looked like a river. And it looked like there was no end. And that's the first time in my life when I got serious with God. And as I'm laying there, I looked up toward heaven and I got up on one elbow the best I could. I could hardly breathe. And I told God, I said, Lord, I said, forgive me. I'm sorry. I said, if there's anyone that I hurt, either knowingly or unknowingly, I said, forgive me. I'm so sorry. And I fell back. My strength was gone. I fell back and I just waited to die. And after I told God that I was sorry to come into my heart for real, for good, when I fell back, the next breath that I took, I could smell roses. Oh, what a beautiful smell. To smell those roses, fragrances I've never smelled before. And then people started to gather. And the state cop came, and he was giving directions. He was lining people up, one row on this side of me and one row on the other side of me. Now he says, here's what we're going to do. He says, the people on his left side, put your arms under him with your palms up. The people on your right side, put your hands under him with your palms down. When you feel the other person's fingers, lock them in. And he called that a homemade stretcher, because the ambulance hadn't got there yet. But by the time that they had picked me up, the ambulance did show up and they put me on a gurney. And I can remember just before that happened, there was a lady standing there. And I asked her, I said, help me up. I can't get up. And I can remember tears coming down her face. She said, I can't. Of course, they could see what I couldn't. And I said, well, then give me a coat or give me something to lay my head on. I said, this gravel is just digging me in the back of my head. Could you please give me a coat? And I don't know, somebody went and got a blanket. And they laid a blanket down. I thought, oh, that felt so good. No rocks or no stones digging into my brain. and they took me to the hospital. I was conscious the whole time. And you know how they, you've seen in movies or maybe in real life where the ambulance pulls up to the hospital and there's people there, and then they open both doors and they rush the person in the gurney in. Well, that's the first time I blacked out. I remember the doors opening, but I don't remember going through them. And I don't know how long I had been laying there unconscious. But when I came to, the state trooper was there. My wife was there. My sister was there. And the state cop asked me, he says, could I see your driver's license? I said, after all I've been through, you're going to give me a ticket on top of all this? He said, no. He said, I'll tell you what. He says, we do not give medals for accidents. But he said, if we were to give out medals, he said, you would have gotten the Medal of the Year award. He said, because I don't know how you knew to hit that side of the mountain when you did with the side of your truck, to hit that culvert. But he said, you hit that at the right time. He said, if you had not have hit that culvert and scraped along the side of the bank, he said, your truck would have gone down the mountain and it would have wiped out the little town of Jennerstown at the bottom. He said, there'd have been nobody there. There'd have been no town there. He says, I don't know how you knew, but he said, you did. So he says, you're not getting a ticket. He just said, I just want to make sure that I have a name and address. So even when we mess up, God still knows what he's doing. God is still in control. Amen? So even though I had told God, let me alone, he was still in charge because he knew how stupid I was. When they first took me in, they didn't even bother to wash me up. Because when they called the doctor, he come in and he said, when I looked at you, he said, I knew it would only be a matter of a couple of hours, maybe 3 or 4 hours at the most. He said, that's it. So he said it was no use to do anything with you. We just couldn't do anything. See, back in the 1960s, they didn't have all the stuff that they have now. And I don't know what happened then because I passed out again. When I came to, I had no idea where I was. All I knew was there was something white in my vision. I couldn't see anything. And I knew that I was cold. Oh, was I cold. And what I was laying on, I did not know at the time.